Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you happen to be. Glad you tuned in to our latest live broadcast, BookBaby Live. I'm Stephen Spotts, President Emeritus of the brand, and we've got a really interesting program for you, full of some very interesting and important up-to-date information about book reviews and about the importance of them and what you can and can't do about book reviews, which I kind of uncovered in researching this. So pretty important one. If you got a notebook, that's great. We're going to have replays available, of course, on all our various social media channels, and we'll have this in the blog soon. But there's some pretty key information here I'm eager to share with you today. So with that said, Carter, let's get going. So again, welcome to our broadcast number 11. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'd like to share a little bit about myself during this time. Way before I was with BookBaby, I was a sports writer for the Roseburg News Review, and I had the chance to sit through an entire NCAA March Madness game, early round, with the late great Jim Valvano. His team had won the first game. The second game wasn't very well attended. Here's this guy sit down beside me for the first half, and I looked over and said, "Oh my God, that's the coach." And for the next 20 minutes, he told me more about basketball than I knew all my life. And it was my brush with fame. 4 weeks later, he was cutting out the nets in Albuquerque with one of the greatest upsets ever in NCAA basketball. But those are my sports writing days. Anyway, that's just one story I could share if I was a self-published author, and I am. And I've written a couple of books and with some more on the way. And I think that's what allows me to have some authenticity, I think, for these broadcasts, because I've been there, I've done that, I know the joys and the pains. So I'm hoping these are going to be helpful to you as you go through the process or start to think about it, all right? So here's what we do, 30 minutes of information, usually 15 minutes on my topic. I'm probably going to steal a little bit of that time, a little bit going over some of the stuff in detail. We will have time for questions at the end. And then again, if we can't get to your questions, I list my email address at the end of the program, Stephen@bookbaby.com, and you can send me some information later. As usual, here are some of the covers we've done in the last couple of weeks by our BookBaby designers, okay? One last thing, one lucky attendee here on Facebook Live, or really all of our social channels, will be selected at random to receive a 15-minute publishing consultation. They never go 15 minutes. It's usually an hour, but I'm happy to do it. Here's how you qualify. You got to share this video, tag a friend in the comments section to be automatically entered to win the consultation. So again, you got to share the video, tag a friend in our comment section. The comment section is also where you list any questions you have, so I'll attend to at the end. Also, one more housekeeping item. We have a group on Facebook called the BookBaby Facebook group, Authors of BookBaby. And we've got about 1,300 members of that now. It's a great, lively discussion. We don't go to it very much other than just to see what questions are being asked. But it's really a good peer group. And people are asking and answering questions all day long there. I heartily suggest that you indeed join that group. Okay. All right, so let's move on about what I see as a really powerful element of your book marketing plans, and that's getting book reviews. It's not easy to do. There's some ways to do it. There's some ways you shouldn't do it, and that's what we're going to kind of talk about. But I got to tell you, book reviews have been around absolutely forever. A 9th century work of Constantine Photius is composed of 279 reviews of books he read. So that was the first recorded history of reviews. We know that authors throughout the years have not liked being part of the book review process, although they secretly have written book reviews for papers. Edgar Allan Poe was not a fan of them. We place on paper without hesitation a tissue of flatteries to which in society we cannot give utterance for our lives without either blushing or laughing outright. H.O. Mencken bemoan the inconceivable complacency and conformity of journalism criticism. And more recently, Steve Wasserman wrote in the Columbia Journalism Review, the pablum that passes for most reviews is an insult to the intelligence of most readers. So it's a love-hate relationship with authors, but frankly, it needs to be much more love. And I'll tell you that, especially for self-published authors. Now, I'm going to invite you to go to the BookBaby blog, type in the word reviews for some of the nuts and bolts, do's and don'ts I can't cover in the 15 or 20 minutes we're going to be here. What I'm covering today is really kind of on top of what you can get at the blog, but I strongly encourage you to go there. But really, reviews are incredibly important to that book marketing plan that thinks about all encompassing areas. You've got to have distribution. You've got to have metadata. That's the information about your book on Amazon and keywords. You got to have an author platform, your own website, Twitter, social media platforms, your own blog. You need to have a promotional budget. All right, you're going to have to spend some money to get the word about your books. But frankly, book reviews is one of those 5 pillars that on a good solid book marketing plan it rests. You need to get book reviews done, and there are ways to go about them. So let's talk about it. In some ways, we do talk about that success begets success, and that's meaning the early success. You have expectations that success is going to follow you, and book reviews are kind of like that. It's kind of like priming the pump, but I like a much more recent term, which is social proof. All right, that's the terminology that really seems to be the most close in terms of how I want to describe the process of what happens when you get book reviews. All right, look. There's no question. This is pretty one-on-one stuff. You got a lot of reviews. They appear to be popular. All right. It's human nature for us to be curious about. Oh, it's got a lot of reviews. You got to check it out. All right. So again, it can invariably lead to a snowball effect, and that's even if they aren't all 5-star. If God forbid, if your book gets a lot of 1-star, there might be other reasons for people to go and check the book out for not the best reason what you're looking for. All right. But here's some of the things I have uncovered just in the last couple of weeks researching this. All right. And this is new. So Amazon recognizes how important the reviews are, and they have brand new sophisticated algorithms that cause a lot, that look for the number of reviews, look for the ratings, and they're going to bring you up automatically. Whether or not it's the greatest book on earth done by James Patterson or a famous author, just that large number of good reviews is going to bring you up in the rankings. So it's not just the appearance on the page. Amazon's actually doing the job. They put that star rating and number of reviews above the price in the book details, so it's important. And look, you also need to think beyond just your reader. All right, who else are looking for books? The clubs, their bookstores, blogging communities, even filmmakers and people looking to auction books. All right, so reviews are just incredibly important. So it's more than just making sure that you have some nice things that are said about your book. All right. Word of mouth is the GOAT. It's the greatest of all time in terms of marketing. And I got to say that I can imagine that it is the oldest marketing technique. If I could do some role play here, we imagine a scene of cave dwellers and Og says, "Ooh, fire good." And Og says, "Ooh, you're right." So it's the original word of mouth. And that means that Og was the original gangster of influencers. But I mean, it just happens every single day. You don't have a chance to see books on a shelf and see how well thumbed they are, since 85% of the books sold right now are going through Amazon and other online portals. So again, you're getting validated by influencers / reviewers. And if they're similar to you and people follow reviewers, as I'll talk about in a minute, they're going to want to buy that same book. So I can't impress upon you the importance of spending time and effort and maybe even a little bit of money, as we're going to talk about, to get the reviews that start the ball rolling for you. Okay. So I hope all that I've encouraged you to get out there and get reviews and spend, 30, 60 minutes a day to find reviewers. Okay, so let's think about that list. Here's a list. We got Mom, Dad, we got Aunt Carla, we got my buddy Mike. We can get some cheap fake reviews, I'm sure. We can get some legit paid reviewers. There are other Amazon reviewers and maybe even complete strangers I persuade to write a review. So let's just go down that list. Okay. Except that Amazon has new and constantly changing rules in place. And let me share this with you. All right. This is really important. This is straight from Amazon's community rules. We don't allow individuals who share a household with the author or close friends to write customer reviews for that author's book. Okay. Period. They're going to be tossed out. Amazon's going to take a hard look at all of your reviews. All right. How I think they're doing this. Look, they know who you're sending gifts to at Christmas. They look at your address list. That's what I believe is going on. So if you sent your buddy Ed a Christmas gift last year in the state of Washington, even away from Pennsylvania, and you ask Ed to write a review, it's probably not going to be accepted by Amazon because their name and contact information is in your part of your address book. So you've got to go outside of it. All right. So that's really important. And it's going to hang up your other reviews too. You'll draw more scrutiny. Even some reviews that are legit will be kind of looked at sideways. So you got to obey this rule. Okay. But keep informed. This is something that really is changing and evolving all the time. They're constantly making improvements or not improvements as far as some authors go to their guidelines. Go to Amazon, look at their community guidelines, look at them before you start to do any serious work for looking for reviews. All right, so those 4 are off the list. Damn it, I shouldn't have sent Aunt Carla that gift at Christmas. Oh well. All right, so I bet you I can get a bunch of cheap reviews and I can flood my Amazon page. Well, let me tell you about John Locke. He was an indie author. This is about maybe 10 years ago now, and he had a very slow start. Self-published a few books, but all of a sudden his sales went crazy. At 4 titles in top 10 bestsellers. He sold over 1 million ebook copies of his 9 Donovan Creed novels, and he was celebrated by the publishing industry, a wary publishing industry, as the first self-published author to really achieve this kind of success. He even had the gall to write a book himself, How I Sold 1 Million Books, and listed out all his hard work and effort and pricing. Well, it wasn't true. New York Times did an article on him in 2012, and it talks about the best book reviews that money can buy, and used John Locke as an example. He used a website called Getting Book Reviews, and for like $5 each, he bought 300 of them that were just completely fake, loaded them on his Amazon page. Again, it got the algorithm at that point going, oh, looks like it's popular. Other people saw these, started buying his books, and it was all a facade. All right, he's vilified in the publishing community. That's when Amazon really went to work on saying what is a good review and what is not, and that's important for you to learn and consider today. About reviewers, and what's works, what's kosher to Amazon, and what isn't. All right, so got to cross them off the list. We still have a lot of people we can go after, including legit paid reviewers. So let's talk about them. All right. So Amazon does accept unpaid and paid reviews. All right. So customer reviews is written by a reader, ideally by somebody who bought the book. Now, you can also say, and Amazon asks you this when you do a book review, how did you get the book? You bought it. And by the way, they can see it in their records. Or you can just freely say, no, the author gave this to me in consideration to do a review. And Amazon said that's absolutely fine. All right. They're called Amazon reviews, customer reviews. You can do editorial reviews. And this is from, again, a professional reviewer or an expert within the genre. All right. They're called blurbs, sometimes testimonies, but they'll all show up on your Amazon page. And oh, by the way, on your BookBaby, in your bookshop page too, if you're marketing your books through them, and tip, you should. All right. So who can review your book? So these are legitimate paid review services that are well known to be quite legit. All right. Now, you're probably going to get a favorable review from all of these, but it's not guaranteed. I've known people who've gotten bad reviews. All right. They aren't all automatically 5-star. They really do read the books. Okay. And they recognize that Amazon knows a Kirkus and a Blue Ink and a Reader's Favorite and an Indie Reader review, and knows they're going to go on the editorial section just fine. All right. How long do they take? 4 to 6 weeks usually. You can expedite them if you want to. And review prices range from anywhere from $100 to $600 typically. All right. Some are more, some are less. If it's less, I'd start to wonder, are you really getting a review? But it is a facet of where you can go. To investigate this, I talked to my friend Carl Pritzker. He's the COO of Publishers Weekly, and they have a side of their business also called Book Life. So I just put it to him, look, is it worth investing in paid reviews? And his response is that we self-published authors, we need the validation by a known third party like a Publishers Weekly or Book Life, all right? And with all advertising popping up, I didn't think about this, all the Amazon ads you see on there, reviews are much more important. And I do think this new algorithm, added on that Amazon adding to it, just makes that much more important, all right? Also, you've got to think about how the review affects your overall goal of the book. This can, as I said earlier, open the doors for library and film rights, agents, readers, publishers will be looking at books with a lot of reviews. So it's really important to them, okay? Now, Book Life, they're a partner of ours, just in that we think they do a great job. You can apply for a Publishers Weekly review for free. Fierce competition, no guarantee you're going to be chosen. Although they do they do hundreds of self-published books every single year. There's Book Life, which is their side publication. You can buy one from them. It's completed in about 6 weeks, although that can be expedited. It's about 300 words by a qualified Publishers Weekly or Book Life reader, and that's all they do all day long, all week long, is read books and write reviews. They're very good. Again, they could be negative too. So you got to just realize that it's not a sure thing, but they are recognized as good, legitimate paid reviews and very kosher for Amazon. Okay. All right. What else can we do? Other Amazon reviewers, complete strangers. Okay. So how do you find great reviewers? Here's where, if you want to take some notes, I heartily suggest you do that now, or again, wait for the blog post that will come up. All right. Do a thorough search on Google, on Amazon for book reviewers. Well, you can go to Amazon itself, and they've got top customer reviewers. Now, you need to filter out just based on books. You open them up, you see what they reviewed, all right? But you can find who are the top reviewers. And believe it or not, avid readers actually follow their favorite reviewers. If this reviewer has reviewed 5 of their books that they love, they just start watching where the reviewer goes, and they follow their taste. So again, there's more at play than just the pure review. There are readers who are actually looking to the reviewers to help them discover their next book. All right. You always look at the reviewer's website, read the submission guidelines. All reviewers are different. Some want a chapter, a sentence, a few sentences. They want a link that they can see the description themselves. Follow what they want. All right. Remember, in a lot of ways, they're doing you a massive favor. All right. You should compose what I call a query package, which includes a pitch message for the reviewers. And you tailor it. You try to make it as personalized as possible. Here's a sample one. Typical pitch. Hi, Mr. Reviewer. My name is Marcus Mariota. My latest sports thriller, Duck Turns into a Falcon, was released May 1st. Here's the cover image. Here's a brief synopsis. I'm currently looking for reviewers. I wonder if you'd be interested in reading an advanced reading copy of the book for review. One nice thing is you can send ebooks out before the actual print-on-demand books are dropping in your pre-sale period. So again, all ebook formats should be available. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Best wishes, Marcus. All right. Typical letter, as personalized as you can get it. All right. 4th thing is know your genre. All right. Don't waste your time on any reviewer who isn't really experienced in your genre. All right. The more they narrow down in the niche, the better you're going to be. This next one should be, I shouldn't even have to mention it, but if you've got an unedited book or it's full of typos, you shouldn't be talking to the reviewers in the first place. Get the book edited, all right? 6, don't expect a reviewer to pay for their review copy, all right? They're giving you free publicity. The least you can do is pay for review copies, all right? And again, this is totally legit for Amazon. Amazon accepts and knows that these reviewers are not buying their books, and they admit that freely during the process. All right, they're very busy. They get dozens of requests a week. Give them a few weeks to get your response, and then just kind of nudge gently. All right, but realize they're bombarded with a lot of books. All right, if you get a negative review, look, take it as it should. Valuable feedback. Not everyone's going to like your book. You can choose not to use it, of course, or you can choose to maybe your book isn't ready. We don't know. All right. And then obviously a thank you note is always good for reviewers. Okay. So again, your review playbook should look like this. Target reviewers who are really interested in your topic. All right. Make sure it's in your exact genre. All right. Or don't even waste their time. They're going to be, think about books that are a lot like yours. Go and look at the reviewers who are doing them. Try to contact them. All right. Now, contact information may be tough, all right, because there's a large volume and requests. Some reviewers don't have their personal emails in them, but they might have websites. They might have blog set up. That's, be creative, be crafty, see where you can find out where these people are, all right? Wait for the reply. I would recommend targeting like 20 reviewers at a time, wait a week, and then go back in, do another 20, however many that you hope to. What's your average? I don't know. If you get maybe 2 or 3 of these people interested in each batch of 20, I think you'd be doing well. And so you need to set your sights accordingly, depending upon the query package that you put in and the quality of book. You need to in essence sell them so they can help you sell to the readers. So it's important to kind of put your salesperson hat on this and see what you can do. All right. So to kind of sum up, understand the power of word of mouth marketing. It's been around forever. When I think of recommendations now, I think about my friends. I think about my family. I ask their opinions first. Amazon's constantly changing the rules, so be aware of that. Look for those community guidelines. It's a good thing to get in the habit of checking for it. If you're an author, if you're a publisher of anything, just get in the habit of going to the community page to see if there are any updates. All right, paid reviews are more than okay. In fact, some of them are really, really great services. Again, beware. Don't look for the offshore. I can do 50 reviews for $100. That'll get you into trouble and will put a black mark against your book. All right, and then have a plan and have a nice kit for you to go out and to find non-paid reviews. So who do you go after if it's not your Christmas list? It could be people in Facebook groups who you don't have on your address book. It could be many different areas. This is the time to open up, and just think about what communities are you involved in. I used to be with the Friends of the Delaware Canal. I would probably ask some people in that group to review my next book if it's going to be about something they might be interested in. So again, use some creativity and find the folks who would be willing to, again, take the time to really do a good book review for you. All right. Once again, I would encourage you to go to the BookBaby blog. Doesn't have some of this new information, but it will. I guarantee you we're going to overlay our articles with it. Plus, we're going to do a post accompanying this live broadcast. Okay, so go to the blog, type in reviews. Don't type in book reviews because you'll get every single article because, we deal with books. Just put in reviews and you'll get a nice curated amount of articles. All right. So I'd like to end it with some of the feedback we've been getting from BookBaby. From Jerry Cuomo, thrilled with the results. Results delivered by the BookBaby team, the final ebook and softcover, everything I hoped for. I published a book before through a big publishing house. They do it all for you. So BookBaby's do it yourself publishing process took a little getting used to, but thanks to the help of their support staff, we got into a rhythm of refining the proofs, reviewed, and approved. Not only will I use them again, I'm using them again this year for my next project. Thank you, Jerry. Looking forward to seeing that project. All right. And tomorrow, breaking is our BookBaby Spotlight podcast. Drops tomorrow. We've got a BookBaby author, Danya, and I'm going to murder his name, is Ziriksari. I'm sorry, Danya. She'll be discussing her memoir. It's really good, from Tehran to Miami, about her life during the Islamic Revolution and the Iran-Iraq War and how she broke free and got out to the West. It's going to be a fascinating podcast. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So that means now it is question time. And I see a few have popped up. Please feel free to put them on your comment section. And again, share this video and tag a friend in the comment section, and you can be automatically entered to win the consultation with me. Okay, let's start. So, Mary asks, can friends' reviews be used in the editorial review section? Well, if that person is, let's just say the book was about, I don't know, elementary school teaching, and perhaps that person was on the school board or had credentials, I think that would be acceptable. But yeah, it does have to be more of either it's an outwardly paid review, or it's somebody who's kind of a recognized leader in that field, who can be counted upon for a different kind of a review. More than just your typical reader and typical review. It's going to be somebody who has that gravitas that can be added to it. All right. Second. Wow, I had 185 reviews on Amazon, and they disappeared and no comments back from Amazon. Ooh, why were they removed? Elizabeth, I don't know. I'd like to hear more about this. If you want to give me an email at steven@bookbaby.com, we can look into that. I'm assuming you are a BookBaby author. That should, 185 reviews, assuming you didn't buy them from John Locke's service. I'm sure they're legit. Amazon every once in a while has a hiccup. We've suffered with them for the last 12 years of their occasional hiccups, and they just realize, oops, and all it takes is a switch of the button. And usually they update everything, by the way, on Saturday morning. It's when all their updates take place. So give our customer service a call or shoot me an email, and we will get that resolved for you. Okay. How do we put reviews of free copies on the Amazon page? That's a good question. Really, I mean, if you've got your book set to 0, if you're on the Kindle Unlimited program, the Kindle Select program, where you have your book for free, you have your book in a countdown mode. Maybe even the price goes up every day or something like that. Really, it should be treated just like any other review. So I think being part of Kindle Select, which again gets you into Kindle Unlimited, which is their subscription service, hardly endorse that. You can do the countdown deals. You can do the book giveaways within a period of time. I don't think they should look at reviews any differently from that. They would just have to state, "I received a copy of the book during the free period," and they'll have a record of that book purchase, and they do check back and forth. So okay, Juliet, does BookBaby provide a list of contacts, i.e., publishers weekly? Well, some of the information I just gave you would be your first clue. I gave you some of the paid services, and again, it's by memory. It's Kirkus, Blue Ink, Indie Reader, Reader's Favorite. Those are the 4 I would start with in terms of paid reviews. In terms of just going out and getting your non-paid reviews, well, again, go into Amazon, look for their top reviewers, filter out those that are doing washing machines and socks to make sure that you've got a book reviewer, and then see if they're in that genre. This is going to take some legwork. Now, there are a ton of services out there that say they'll do this for you. Buyer beware. Be very suspicious of this type of thing. Some of them might be quite legit. I don't know. We haven't used them. We've never endorsed them. It's not something that we would typically have add on to it unless we can verify. But other than that, it's going to be some elbow grease. Really looking at one easy way to do it, or one way to start perhaps, is go find all the book bloggers. All right. Our friends Reedsy, I'll just say that in the UK, I know they have a list of about 250 book blogs of people who blog about the reviews they do. That's a good place to start. Yes, Reedsy is headquartered in the UK, but that doesn't matter. They're from all over the world. That's a good place to start. And there are other lists of great book blog sites. And bloggers, they need to have books. I mean, it's almost a little bit more of a need for them to keep their blog going. They've got to have material too. So it's a nice symbiotic relationship. So that's where I'd start. Okay. Julia asks, help! I first published with Lulu, and it's messed up my Amazon algorithm. How can I contact Amazon to fix this? Well, again, I don't have much knowledge of the inner workings of Lulu. I don't know if you have to go through Lulu. I'm imagining, if you're still published with Lulu, that's fine. If you're interested in moving from Lulu, you could contact us. We perhaps can give you some advice in that. I don't know if someone is a BookBaby author, we ask that we be the direct contacts to Amazon. We know who to talk to. We know all the situations. And it's actually a real convenience for you that you never actually have to contact Amazon on your behalf. We do it for you for free. So I don't know if that's the same situation at Lulu. It sounds like they have their hands full of that. So maybe if you want to send me some more details about it, Stephen@bookbaby.com for any more questions too. I can look into this for you. We can talk about it. All right. Robin asks, what if you sold a book at a book signing? Will Amazon allow a review from someone like that? Complete strangers. Yay. Absolutely. Now, again, when you submit a book review, Amazon asks you some questions. How did you get the book? And you literally say, I bought the book at a book signing. All right. You don't have to say you didn't buy it at Amazon. You just be truthful. And absolutely, that's exactly the kind of people. Now, at your book signing, maybe you put a little have a bookmarker in the book, and on the bookmarker say, please review my book. Here's how to do it. Here's where to do it. I'd love for you to do that. And I know, by the way, Amazon does have some tools on there. If you really want to dig deep in the community guidelines, they'll actually help you solicit people who have bought your product and will ask them to send a review for you. As you know, Amazon never gives any buyer's address, names, or contact information. But if you search in Amazon, and maybe that'll be a topic for another day, you can actually go in there and find the tool that will say solicit reviews. And if people have already bought your book, but they're not giving reviews, Amazon will actually help you, give you a nudge in that way. So got to dig deep, do some research, Google it. It's there. I can't tell you exactly what the URL is. And not only is it sanctioned by Amazon, it's actually they're the ones who are running it. So again, it's important not to go afoul of Amazon rules, but this is something they actually help people who are selling products. All right. So Dan asks, I received 5-star reviews through Reader's Favorite last year. Can those be posted to Amazon? If so, what's the process? Yes, they can be posted to Amazon. I can't say I know exactly what the process is. You know who I'd contact? I'd contact Reader's Favorite. And I'm sure they do this 1,000 times a day for all their other folks. And if they don't do it, they can at least tell you how to do it. It's something that possibly we can get involved with that for you. I'd start with Reader's Favorite. And then if not, call the folks at BookBaby Distribution, and they can help with that. It's a good thing. All right, Carter, by any chance, do we have a winner yet chosen for our free giveaway? I'm going to say probably not. So we do have a winner. Winner is Carol, and I'm going to murder this name, Carol Gravant, Gravante. Carol, I shall be contacting you in a couple of days, and we can set up a time to discuss your book project and plan for more than 15 minutes, because it always goes long, and that's fun, a lot of fun. So with that, I'm going to say we're going to wrap up this section. If you have any ideas for what other broadcasts you'd like to see, please send me those ideas. Carter and I were just talking about that. What should we do next time? I'm not sure just yet. But anyway, if you have any other questions, please feel free to give me, shoot me an email, Stephen@bookbaby.com. And now that I'm President Emeritus, I got more time on my hands. I can answer questions. So anyway, I want to thank you for your attention today, and appreciate your being here. And I'll see you next month for our next BookBaby Live broadcast.